Nothing.
And we're live now. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us again on another pop culture Clobberin time where we take a few minutes out of our week and just chit-chat about comic books, superhero toys, collectibles, movies, TV shows, all the good stuff. We got, as usual, my pal, Coach Vic. And we've got Al Shell over there.
Here. I wasn't here last time. That was the welcome back you gave me.
You know, I am so glad that Al is back. I know he was a little under the weather, but he's back and better than ever, and we are excited to the umpteenth degree.
Yeah, there you go.
I was thinking, he's out doing something cool, something fun, and it turns out no migraines.
He's out chasing down that white whale of a toy that he's been looking for, that Grail, which is actually a Grail from the Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail.
I should get one of those.
What is your white whale toy?
My white whale?
Yeah.
I don't got one. I usually just buy
a white whale.
I gave up on white whales because it's a waste of time, really. I got so much other stuff that drives me in life, family and friends and stuff. I don't need to be like, oh, I need that toy, or that comic book or whatever. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't,
Look at Al being all healthy.
Oh no! If you can look around my straight, I got a big old gut. And
hey,
that's probably why I got migraines, because I'm very unhealthy. So there you go.
Let's shout out the members of the chat we've got so far. John's Comics with Kids was here extra early in the morning.
I mean, what's it like 3 a.m. out there?
He's up early. I think it's soccer season. I bet he's gearing up for a big soccer day today.
Oh, is that why he doesn't have any kids on the show today?
Is that it? I don't know. He's on right after us on John's Comics with Kids. We've also got Dope Comics. Okay, thanks for joining us, Dope Comics. Hey, John. Thanks for a little shout out this morning on Instagram, John. I really appreciate it. And regular attender, we got Gore Vidal. Al is back. What do you think?
Fru
this morning and read a few Phantom stories. Great stuff. Nice.
What's Fru Phantom? Is that a new character?
Oh, I just assumed it was something comic book like.
The Fru Phantom.
John's hanging out for the weekend with his fam.
Oh, nice. Men's weekend.
I get an echo. Is that you or me?
I have no brothers. I don't know what that's like.
You getting an echo?
I don't know.
I don't
me.
Delete everything. We'll start over. We'll do a live. No.
We'll tweak our levels and see if that helps. So the topic at hand, first thing in this morning, is going to be suggestions for new readers. Coach Vic's been a new reader for a couple of years now.
Has it been that long?
Do you have any new readers in the that watch the show, or is it a bunch of old readers?
No,
so
but
they're like, we know this.
Find out if they're missing out on anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure, and plus, I'm sure they're going to have some suggestions themselves.
And also, I kind of realized I just kind of jumped in wherever. I'd never built a foundation for comics or knowledge. And after reading Batman Year One, which I loved, I was just like, what else out there is there that I should be reading that I can get a firm foundation? I mean, sure, we all know, what's the guy's name? Billionaire Bruce Wayne. His parents were killed. His mother had the pearls on. They popped off and everything. And all that, but I never realized it. So, and then he became Batman because he lacked money for therapy, I guess. I don't know. But I never realized there was actually a group. But that book, that storyline, it was just really cool how they just layered everything, how they built everything up. They only did it in 4 books. You hear that, DC, Marvel? It only took 4 books.
And it was in the regular series. It wasn't like a big special event or anything like that.
Hey, today, that'd be Black Label, $8 a book, and they'd stretch it out to 12.
Only took 4 books. It took what, 50 years? 4 books. Yeah, after 50 years.
Yeah, but they refined it down into 4 books.
Yeah, refined it to, hey, let's make Catwoman a hooker. Oh, right.
That's an idea.
I did think that was kind of weird.
That's an idea. It didn't stick long.
I mean, they introduced Vicky
like,
Vale.
hey, I look up the Catwoman. She's a hooker.
And who's the little girl that's hanging out with her? They never did describe that.
I think they get into that into a follow-up Catwoman miniseries, but I don't remember it for the life of me. Dope Comics suggests Geiger, which I read all that. That is pretty good stuff right there.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was the 80s. Yes, it was the 80s. Because I know when I was living in the 80s, I was, hanging out with hookers and doing coke all the time. That was great. I was 10. No.
So when a new reader or somebody that's like, I've seen the shows, the movies, and everything. I want to get into reading comics. What's the starting point? Where should I start? And I'm always like, man, I don't even know.
I say don't,
because there's so much to choose from. The histories, like Al's alluding to, were like so long, and there's so much that poured into it. They get convoluted sometimes, and for me, it's okay. A lot of people point to Watchmen as like, well, Watchmen is like the high watermark for the art form, and it gets close, but there are things in it that a brand new reader is not going to pick up on. What? You disagree on Watchmen being?
I disagree that you just keep mentioning. He mentions Batman Year One. You mentioned Watchmen. This is the 80s, boys. This is the 80s. It's 2021. What has been done in the business that's worth talking about now? You need to get on that. That's why
what's the future?
New readers ain't gonna bust open a crusty old Year One book that has nothing relevant nowadays. It's like it's Batman. Batman is McDonald's. Fine. I know a Big Mac when I see a Big Mac.
Well,
like
if somebody has seen all the Batman movies and they're like, I want to get into Batman comics, Year One is actually one of the better books to point him to, because a lot of the first Christopher Nolan movie comes from that. At least the mood.
Fine. Like if you like to just watch paint dry, go ahead. But the comic books are such a huge medium, and we put it in a box because it's just gotta be about Batman. It's just about Superman. It's just about Wonder Woman, Black Panther, and Wolverine. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, there is so much, right? There's so much you can get. You gotta let someone wanderlust, okay? You gotta let someone go in, and they're not even gonna go to a comic book shop, because they go into a comic book shop. The comic books are in the back. They're not prevalent. You got a bunch of toys everywhere, which you should be buying anyways.
Well, that's kind of what I've done with Victor is, and I do this with whether I work with
DC
that I'm supposed to be supervising at work. It's like I give them like the minimum amount of direction, and let them go work through the process of figuring things out. With comic books, it's kind of like, okay, well, where's your taste going to land? Is it going to be in superheroes? Is it going to be in horror? Is it going to be in true life stuff, sports, food?
There's a sports series out there.
It's called Super Pro.
Yeah. Okay.
Al's doing some sketching as we're talking this morning. That's pretty cool.
It's a Halloween monster.
So with Vic, it's like, okay, I've got to watch you kind of play in the kiddie pool for a while. Let's pick up on what strokes you're developing for yourself, and then I can help you.
We're alone, just one drum.
So let's go back to some comments from Gore. He said the 80s. I mean, the decade between American Gigolo, Alan and Richard Gere, in one of my favorite films as the medical practitioner, the American Gigolo. I remember going on a vacation and my parents watching American Gigolo with my aunt and uncle, and they're like, "You gotta go to bed." So
Oh, and what were they doing?
Which is what Catwoman.
He was in the next room. What are they doing? Daddy's hurting mommy. What's happening? I'm so confused. Sorry.
About this century.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking crazy time. I'm living in the present, baby.
All right.
Living in the present.
Morning, Biggie.
You know how many times Batman hit a year 1? He's on year 5,000, man, and you're still talking about Frank Miller's stuff. Hey, great, guys. Talk about Watchmen all you want. It's not relevant today because everybody... Well, it is relevant because everybody rips Watchmen in year 1 off, and it's just regurgitation. It's like puking up the food, puking it up, eating it again, puking it, eating it again. Regurgitation, man, all the time. That's all comics are now. DC, Marvel. I don't even know what Marvel's doing, but DC makes me. I'm sad.
So Gore's saying kind of what I was saying with Victor is recommending a book. I'd want to know their taste on films, art, and novels, and show them a variety that complement those tastes. Yep. So I mean, here's the thing, Coach. I call you Coach Vic.
Morning.
You never call me that in public, though.
I know. Good morning.
What's going on here, guys? Love respect.
We're here on the West Coast.
So Victor, I mean, you've kind of gone down the road of you're going to collect. You're going to concentrate somewhat your PC on African American characters.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So.
I guess Black Panther. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you just learned this morning that James Rhodes was actually Iron Man for a while.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
And see, that's where Al and I are letting him down because
I'm not letting him down. I'm letting him be his own self. I'm letting him go and find what it. Let him. I didn't know and told me. I discovered it on my own.
Right.
Okay, that's the type of person I am because I don't want to. You're influencing Vic with what you like. Okay.
Well,
I wouldn't do that.
I can only suggest what I've read.
Well, see, and when I was reading Black Panther, one of the early ones, I had to text James and said, "Was Storm originally white?" Because apparently they didn't know how to make black females back then. I'm just saying.
Well, back when Black Panther was introduced, his skin was like a real ugly gray because they didn't have an ink mixture to make brown.
That's
he looked almost like green. It was weird.
I want to mention on Storm. Okay, this might be a different day, but they dropped the ball on Storm. They made her so cookie cutter, so like just bleh. Because I picked up an old book. It's Claremont, of course, and that was when she was gonna go to lead the Morlocks or whatever, the mutants under the stairs characters. You know, she had before she did the. They should have went with that, man. She could have been the BA, man. She could have been the badass of the. She didn't, but they had to keep her around. She could have been another Magneto. She could have been something like, "Hey, Professor X, you got your teacher style. I got my teacher style." And this is. She could have been something more, but no, they had to status quo her. I don't like that. Well, they dropped the ball with Storm, and now she is just another cookie cutter X-Men character.
She's the ruler of Mars.
What?
Mars.
I don't read. That's what I'm saying. I don't read these new comic books.
What's his face in charge of? Martian Manhunter.
The different universe. See, the X-Men have recently terraformed Mars and sent this whole other group of very aggressive mutants to live there, and Storm is there to be the chaperone.
Yeah, but she's still like
jail, basically.
Perfect, right? She's still perfect, a perfect like non-flawed character. All that is. Hey, I'm not Hey, listen, I'm not crabbing on Storm. I'm crabbing on what they've done with Storm. Okay, Storm still has one of the best, like her earlier outfits, the Dave Cockrum design, sexy. Okay, it's great. It's so cool. But what happened is that they wanted to make her like just like an icon or whatever. They wanted to put her, and it was like she can't be flawed. She can't be anything. Like I'm talking about the movies, especially. Like I'm here. Let's do this. I'm at. She can't be.
Well, and I guess I'll learn more about this when when I keep watching John's Omni X-Men show, but instead of just putting her in charge over all of them, they had to break them up into 4 groups of X-Men.
It's because the cast of characters got too big.
Oh, okay. I'm like, she's the one in charge. She's most powerful.
Because they kicked Chris Claremont out, and they let the artist write it.
Of the main team.
Oh, okay.
When she
this is my problem. This is my problem with any team book. Like, there's no individuality in these team books, man. There really isn't. It's just like, I'm here because I'm here. You know, a lot of these teams, Justice League, all these. If people got together, they get together for a reason. Like, oh, you would have cliques inside of stuff and all this, and they wouldn't always be hanging. That's why I don't get Justice League. That's why I don't get X-Men. I just don't get them anymore. Because, like, oh, I'm here to be taught how to be a mutant. Okay, people usually graduate and they go and do their own thing after a while. But because these characters are loved, they got to make them sit there and just be like, hey, guys, I got mold on me now. What am I going to do?
That's kind of how I felt when I was reading the X-Men Black Panther crossover book story. Just like, why are all these people here? They're just here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They don't let them grow. There's no growth, which I understand. Well, that's why, you know, they're properties. That's all it is. But
I'm gonna, at some point, I'm going to do like my life with the X-Men as a stream. It'll probably be like 2 or 3 hours long. I'm going to go over like my entire reading history of them and what I thought of them at the time. Okay. So we'll fill in the gaps in that. But this is the issue that started it all for me on X-Men. And if I suggest, like, here's one good comic where all you got to do is read these 22 pages and you're going to walk away with a pretty good experience and want to come back for more, X-Men 136 right there.
I just had a lot of questions after reading it.
Okay, good.
That was, what, 2 years ago?
Well, John's Comics with Kids is going to go over it in his Omni show. So
yeah.
You'll be able to read it in context with the rest of them.
And John, this is a pieta.
So let's look at this from the standpoint of, okay, newbie likes the Avengers movies. Okay, if somebody comes and says, Jamie, I like the Avengers movies, what should I start reading? I'm like, well, if you like Captain America, I'd suggest this storyline from, again, it is from the 80s. But
what's that? 2 comic books. That's a storyline.
Captain Wolf?
Captain Wolf. No, this is Dragon Man eating Cap's shield.
Captain Wolf.
Dragon Man?
Heck yeah. Fighting Batroc the Leaper, and especially get into this particular issue because it gives like the history of Captain America back during World War II.
Oh, okay.
And kind of leading up to his, I don't want to call it a resurrection, but bringing back to the modern era through the Avengers finding him in the ice. But if you really like the movies, and I have not, there's some classics that I haven't read through yet. And one of them for me has been the Ed Brubaker run on Captain America that begins with the death of Captain America. Well, I don't know if it begins with it, but it's a major part of it. It was part of the Civil War storyline, which they kind of somewhat translated into a movie. But a lot of what we see in the Captain America movies, especially dealing with the Winter Soldier character, comes from Ed Brubaker's run on the books.
Hmm. They like killing off them superheroes, don't they?
Oh, every chance they get.
If you like fun books, Captain America wise, okay, I'll talk about that. They got Steve Rogers stopped being Captain America several times in the book, but the one in the 80s by Mark Grunwald, that's what got me. That was some of the first issues that I started like, I gotta find the next one.
You mentioned that before. I keep forgetting.
It's like Cap No More.
Cap No More, yeah.
It's got the beautiful cover. I think it's a Mike Zack. I'm not sure. He's like up next to the flag. It's running and the blood, and then and he's all like, "Oh, I'm sad."
Yeah.
Someone ruined Storm. Oh, you know.
Captain America fans that I know, like Al, the Mark Grunwald run is also one of the high watermarks for the character. I've not been able to read most of it. I've got a few issues here and there. Gore Vidal says, Alan, you need to read the Fru Phantom.
Oh, that really is for fruit.
I read one story where the Phantom projects Abraham Lincoln's son from assassination instead of him on that fateful night. Or protects him.
So Phantom is busy protecting the son while Abraham Lincoln gets popped. Okay.
Gotcha.
Speaking of protecting.
Hey, Keep It Comics, stay tuned to this channel. I'll help you out. John's Comics with Kids will help you out too with his Omni show. Mm-hmm. So we've got the Hawkeye show coming this winter, this Christmas, and it looks like a great Christmas kind of homage to like
Die Hard,
yeah. But a lot of the source material comes from this run by David Aja was the artist, or in
two boring things that go great together.
Matt Fraction wrote the book.
Hey, but let's talk about that series. One, there's a musical episode, and they make a reference to Hamilton.
And what do they call? They call this pandering, don't they? Hey, let's make a musical episode.
I think issue 11 in this. John's Comics with Kids can back me up. I think it's issue 11 in this is a silent issue from the standpoint of the pizza dog.
Pizza dog.
Yeah, pizza dog's part of the thing. You got to get on board with the pizza dog. But if you like year one, also Coach Vic, Victor, David Aja's artwork is very reminiscent of the work that David Mazzucchelli did in year one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did like the artwork in year one too, and I don't know what I'm doing with artwork, but we'll talk about that another time.
Okay.
I'm saying.
John's comment said that Hawkeye book is fantastic. Yeah, issue 11 is the dog one. Mars Comics. Thanks for joining.
Mars Comics, is this the one that Storm's the leader of? Is Mars?
Yeah, Storm is the leader of Mars Comics.
Is it the shoes? No, Mars.
Gary Moore stopped reading comics for 10 years after he read The Death of Gwen Stacy. Fortunately, he walked into a comic shop in 91 and was inspired to return to the medium. We'll talk about Terry Moore a little bit later in the show.
Huh.
Oh, he's talking about like lapsed fans, like
yeah.
In 91, what do you remember of 91? That was the year of the X-Men, right? The X-Men, right. Jim Lee stuff. That would make you come. It couldn't have been that. It could have had to be something else.
It would have to be like Love and Rockets. I'm guessing it was Love and Rockets.
Was that 91? I felt like an 80s book to me.
It probably started in the 80s, but it was really rolling in the early 90s. Okay, so this is a book I talked about on my channel earlier this week.
Oh, boy.
The Man of Steel.
Yeah. Let's just talk about that, how you're doing shows without us.
Hey, I was invited, and I accepted.
Say, I'm in church, waiting for a meeting.
Late at night.
I get a notification that Jamie has a show coming up. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Late at night when it would be great to do shows.
Preach.
Man. Be doing this at 10:30 right now. I should be sleeping.
Okay, so Al.
Wonder why I'm so grumpy.
You talked about, how there's plenty of places to kind of jump on because there's so much.
This is old. Deron Williams was good. Oh.
So this is the Secret Origin, Superman Secret Origin, which is another retelling of the origin story of Superman by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. But
Jeff Johns?
Yeah. But Coach talking about the
Darren Williams, point guard from the University of Illinois, led him to the Final Four.
Where's the St. Louis reference?
The Final Four was in St. Louis that year.
There you go.
I was there.
Okay. So, Al, what do you think of Jeff Johns and his body of work?
What do I think of Jeff Johns?
Yeah.
It's milk and cookies, man. Whatever. Go ahead if you like that. I'm not married to anybody, I'm not like, oh, I gotta anything this dude buys.
But
he's also done some garbage stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Of course.
There is some hit or miss stuff, but
That's every creator.
I'm pulling out stuff since the 80s.
Well, wait a second. What is the secret origins of
the
Superman
90s
going
stuff.
to teach
Man,
me?
I'll tell you what, this is long as it,
how it's done right.
I think the worst thing about like that Green Lantern you showed is that this Rebirth.
Yeah,
it's probably. I'm not a big fan of the artwork. But hey, that was hot at the time.
Well, what about the Sinestro War?
That's like the same head dude, right?
The Ivan Rice artwork.
That's
I love
my
that
favorite
guy.
thing.
I loved Ivan Rice, if that's his name. But
I've heard it pronounced Heiss, which
but he is the disciple of like an Alan Davis, anyways. So I love Alan Davis. And everybody that came from Alan Davis, even though Alan Davis is from Neil Adams and all that rigmarole.
I thought Sinestro was a good guy. No, at the end, then never mind.
I was
going to talk about the movie.
John's Comics with Kids is going to hate me because I'm going to bash his Shazam stuff.
Ooh.
Because,
I'm always looking for a good Shazam storyline because the movie was great.
He gets, movie, what? Okay, I'm finished.
Shazam stuff.
I mean, is Jeff Johns the only person I need to be reading, apparently? I mean, Jeff Johns Green Lantern, Jeff Johns Shazam.
Well, that's what it was.
Jeff Johns has a giant body of work, and some of it is great, and some of it is. And usually, if it's a big crossover event, it's the more than stuff.
I mean, one thing I was just noticing is a lot of those were like secret origins or that's the origin. Is that how you introduce people to a character?
Well, not necessarily, but one of the things that he was asking was, okay, he's read Batman Year One. Are there other origin stories that he should be reading?
Like Superman Year One.
Okay, so when
don't read that.
Here's the cool thing about a lot of characters. Okay, like a Wolverine. He was just popped into it, and then you learned about him as you went. So I think you got to give them their first appearance or something like that. But not all these characters, because a lot of these characters are bogus characters.
But see, here's the problem with that. Like, because I'm here now, and I know Wolverine, and I know everything about him. I just don't know how that happened.
I was just using Wolverine. I wasn't saying you're so literal, man.
No, I'm saying
metaphorically. I'm using this one dude.
Story.
So you've had some exposure.
Google Man. You got to find out about Google Man. All right. Because when you learn about something, it becomes yours. It's like reading a book. Okay, you pick up a book. You don't like open. I'm talking about a novel. Okay. You don't pick it up and start reading in the middle, right? You start from the chapter, first chapter one, go through that.
But that's how I feel reading comics.
I'm sure there are people that will pick up a novel that's in the middle of a series where they didn't start with the first one.
Why you just okay? Good. Sorry. That's what I did. I picked up a Batman issue number 400 and something. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's what I was been saying from the den. Then what you're trying to do is you're trying to write it. It's a list of stuff you have to do.
No. Yeah.
You can go with 5.
That's what I'm trying to do. But I understand what you're saying now.
I'm just giving suggestions.
Just enjoy. Well, yeah, go ahead. Frankenstein.
Let's see what Al Gore has to say. Let's see what Gore Vidal has to say.
Let's not see what Al Gore has to say.
Some of the earliest comics were adult magazines like Heavy Metal, where I discovered Corbin, Creepaw, Mobius, and Minara. I wonder what a new reader would make of those artists. And those were, I think those would be accepted more in the mainstream today than they were back then. Some of them I would say they get pretty racy with nudity and stuff like that. Well, Howard Chaykin's Black Kiss has got.
Well, yeah, now you can just go into a comic book shop and they have Harley Quinn making out with Poison Ivy. So what's the difference?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
now this character was in my new favorite movie.
Google Man.
Shang-Chi.
Oh,
That's Swamp Thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that wasn't Swamp Thing?
no, you just spoiled it for me. I haven't seen Shang-Chi. Okay.
It's in the first 3 minutes.
Okay. But these are reprints of the Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing books series.
What's a man thing?
It's the Marvel version of Swamp Thing.
If you don't know what a man thing is, you need to talk to your parents.
There are collectors out there that like to get all the different copies of the Giant Size Man thing.
Oh, that should be a shirt. Giant Size. Listen, guys. Okay, you guys, Gore's on here. Get Gore's thing real quick.
What's Gore's?
Listen, I'm trying to give examples, and you guys are just being so darn literal. You know, you're just like, no, you can get these. Whoa. Sorry, I'm going on a rant, and you guys have to pick one thing. It's Gabagoogle Man.
Gabagoogle Man. I understand what you're saying, though. You pick up something and read it, and then you want to learn more about it as you go.
Oh, even if there was like,
not everything needs to be read from the beginning. Basically,
okay, so if somebody has watched
everything needs to be read from the beginning, and you need to read the instructions on how to open the book first too. If you don't do it, you can't enjoy it.
Now,
you're forbidden.
A new guy starts with working with you. Okay, a new co-worker comes in and says, I watched that cool Daredevil show. What should I read? What comic should I read?
I would be like, don't, because half of them are garbage.
What about the other half?
I'm the jaded comic book guy. Like, yeah, you think you know? You think you know about this? You ain't getting it. It's mine. You can't have it.
Yes, that's your new name, the jaded comic book guy.
You got to change your name. Change it right now to Jaded Comic Book
I'll
guy.
tell you right now. I'll tell you what. Comics have done this to me. It's like a bad girlfriend that's been sleeping around behind my back. It's the way it is, man.
Okay, so a suggestion for Daredevil fans. You can go to one extreme or the other. You could go show them the origin or show them pretty much anything through the Bendis run, the Frank Miller stuff. There's a lot of material that's pretty good in the Daredevil run, but there's a lot of crap kind of stuck in the middle too. So here's one extreme of, okay, here's a nice summary. This is Man Without Fear again, Frank Miller, and I'm not here to advertise or promote Frank Miller as the end all be all, but
you are.
He's done some of the better work that is pretty central to a lot of the books that I read and collect.
These covers
are pretty good. And then he did your favorite movie, The Spirit.
Oh.
Here's my other option for Halloween.
So on the opposite end of that, here's a real obscure Daredevil story written and drawn by Lee Weeks, who's for me probably the best total package comic book artist in comics today. And it's a tight 3-issue. This is issues 1 through 3 of Daredevil Dark Knights. Okay. And it's just a Daredevil story in winter. And it's
they did a 3-issue storyline.
Mm-hmm. And I never saw this title when it was new. I completely missed it. You find this in dollar bins all over the place, and I'll find this sitting in the dollar bin and just buy it and give it to people. John's Comics with Kids is backing up Al. He says, I agree with some of what Al is saying. When you're looking for a starting point, you have to balance origins, character evolution, and modern stories. It's a tricky balance. That's exactly why I kind of give people some space before I start making suggestions.
Before you bad touch them.
Born Again in Year 1.
I got this comic book for you.
For those characters. Miller has his flaws, but those books don't have any. Okay, so Born Again is another big Frank Miller.
Is that Batman again?
No, Daredevil.
Daredevil? Mm-hmm. No, that'll get me in trouble.
In your opinion, who is writing good comics this day and age?
Oh, I got it. I know the answer. The person writing all the comics, James Tynion the Fourth.
To be honest, he's the only name that comes to mind. It's like the one guy that seems to be on top of the hill right now.
Because he's writing everything. Has he stopped writing Batman yet?
I'm going to do my Al impersonation and say that, you know, modern comics, I'm buying less and less of them. So I'm not saying you're wrong, Al.
But there's a new series coming out.
You don't understand me.
Human Target. He has to protect Lex Luthor's life.
Okay, so let's talk about Tom King, who's writing Human Target. Okay.
Oh, there's a good idea. Just start at the beginning or wherever. Start at where you start. Yeah. You know? Listen, I didn't learn about Daredevil until he was in some other book or he was like, who's this dude? I don't know what. You know what? I don't remember when I learned about Daredevil. But I went and picked up. I think it was just on a spinner rack. It was like, oh, who's this dude? It might have had a crossover in it or something.
Sure.
And like, you know, I feel like I've always known about characters, so it's hard to remember when I learned about a character. I don't know, but I did do one thing. I learned who was Marvel and who was DC right away, and I don't make the mistake like Vic does all the time.
I need a flow chart.
Yep. John's Comics with Kids says Zdarsky, Lemire, and Tom Taylor are doing great, consistent work for me. Al Ewing is pretty close too.
Oh yeah, Al Ewing.
Lemire does pretty good. I like Tom Taylor's Nightwing a lot. I think that's the only thing I've read of his so far. I want to read his Injustice. I've heard lots of good things about that. And Gorvidal says, regarding Daredevil, show them various key trades and see what catches the eye. The artwork will draw them in. I think it's can be said between both X-Men and Daredevil that if you find the good art, you usually find the good story. I'm not sure how it's all landed that way, but that generally I think is the case.
Okay.
When I go into a shop with I have nephews, I'll go in there. Well, one nephew was already formed by Pokemon and Sonic, and he would get Sonic comics when he was younger. And now I don't know what he would buy because I don't pay attention because I'm a bad uncle. My thing is I don't care what anybody else is reading because this is America. This is freedom of this earth. Read what you want to read. Jeez, why are you pushing your agenda on people?
Okay, so here's the part in the show where I say, I forgot to pull one series that I specifically wanted to talk about. So I got to go get it. I'll be right back.
Oh. Yeah, we'll be right back after these messages.
Finally, the show we've always wanted to do.
Yeah. How are you, Vic? Let's be real. How are you, Vic?
I'm doing great.
Me too.
Shang-Chi, great movie.
It's all right.
Huh? Amazing movie.
Was it?
Yes. I mean, I saw it. I went back and watched it again. I ain't even trying to go to the theaters like that. I watched it twice.
What was it? What was it about Shang-Chi?
Well, I like the story. You know, kind of how I felt about Black Panther. And that Black Panther wasn't really a superhero story.
Yeah.
I felt like it was just a good story that involved superheroes.
With
I feel the same way about Shang-Chi. It was a good story that involved superheroes.
That's what I told my friend. I was like, this wasn't a superhero movie. This is just a movie. I would have preferred more of like traditional Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, right?
According to the movie.
But I just like how they gave him a sidekick out of nowhere, even though she's not a sidekick. Just like
Aquafina.
Yeah. Like, okay, I guess he wasn't strong enough to carry the movie.
So apparently he needed eye candy. Not that she was. Never mind.
Mastodon says, did you see the news anchor that mixed up Spider-Man and Superman? She had the Punisher and the famous line right, but the wrong character.
Publisher, not Punisher.
publisher.
Look, I
it
couldn't
makes
even.
so much more sense now.
I couldn't even do that if I tried.
Keep It Comics says Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil is good. I've been enjoying Tom King's Nightwing too.
Yeah.
Tom Taylor on the Nightwing. I got to correct you on that. I heard lots of good things about Chip Zdarsky on Daredevil, and I read the first couple, and I just couldn't get into it. It was a bit of a slog, and I never got around to giving it the rest of it a chance, and now I feel like I'm missing out.
See,
I feel like you got more DC books. You get more DC books than Marvel books, Jamie, when it comes currently.
Do what?
Do you buy more DC currently than you do Marvel?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel wise, I buy Strange Tales and Thor.
That's it?
I think so.
What about DC? You buy Nightwing, you buy everything Batman because
no, I buy the regular Batman book, Nightwing.
Still getting the B copy?
No. Gotta get the cheap one. So another good follow-up for Batman Year One. If you liked what you saw there, the artwork is going to be a pretty drastic difference, but Batman The Long Halloween, and then there was a follow-up to Long Halloween called Dark something or other. I can't remember.
The Short Thanksgiving?
No. The thing about The Long Halloween is it's a year-long story, 12 issues, and each issue happens in each subsequent month, focusing on each month's holiday.
Oh.
So it's a year-long mystery. There's, mafioso kind of bosses involved. This supposedly in the timeline really follows up Year One.
So it's kind of like closely. Year One.
Yeah, you get
nice.
A lot of each month a different villain is involved. So
Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
Yep. Jeff Loeb was the Marvel TV showrunner for a while until
that turned out. Ugh.
Yeah.
What Marvel TV shows?
Like Shield.
Humans.
Man, that was great until they started going to outer space and stuff.
Yeah, well, good. Okay. Hey, I got some swamp land to tell you, Vic. It's pretty cool.
So the next set of books I want to show focuses on not on purpose, just by happenstance, focuses on one particular artist. And it covers the full gamut of here's the origin story, here's the end story, and then he came back and kind of did here's the story from in the middle and relating to two different universes as well. That's going to be Marvels by Alex Ross and Kurt Busiek.
So Alex Ross actually write it?
He did all the art.
Oh, okay.
And this was his breakthrough project. Yeah.
Okay. He force wrote it. He drew what he wanted and then they put words to it.
Kind of. I'm not sure what the collaboration was like on this. I know it was pretty.
So you're saying he basically did the art and tells them the right story to fit it?
I don't know if that's exactly the case.
No, he probably had a script he was working off.
I mean, it was so early in his career, he wouldn't have had the weight, that kind of weight to pull.
Yeah, he didn't have the stroke.
So he did that for DC, he did that for Marvel. So that tells not like the complete origin story of anything, but it follows this photographer through the origins of the Marvel universe. So it's told by the standpoint of a civilian, and he's taking these photographs of the superheroes as they kind of come to light.
Are they nude?
Oh, well, I don't know if the Human Torch has any clothes on or not.
No, there's no She-Hulk involved.
But it's really cool. The artwork he made it purposely look kind of
looks like a picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you kind of get the feeling of this is what the grandeur would be like if you're in Manhattan and saw Giant Man, walk over you to go fight some villain or whatever.
Some people pay for that.
Or be there when there are rocks floating in the sky when Galactus is coming to consume the Earth and things like that. So it pretty much covers everything from the Golden Age through the beginning of the Bronze Age.
Are all these covers like double pages?
Yeah, they've got like a clear cover on them, and then underneath is would be like a virgin cover underneath.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
But you can get that in trade. So people in the know that know Alex Ross know I'm going to talk about Kingdom Come. This was his next big work that he did with Mark Waid for DC.
Well, this is a more original story, as opposed like Marvel's was just like a capsule of all the history. This is the future that they foreseen. They had that story, and this is pretty much what everything has been ripping up, like Justice and all those things. Kind of just like, oh, it's a dark, you know. I don't know.
So Marvel's is the beginning of the Marvel universe. Kingdom Come is built to be the end of the DC universe, or the
back in
future.
The 90s.
It's not a book that I generally will be like on the top of my list to recommend to a new reader, because it really is a
goes nowhere.
It's a commentary on the old heroes versus the new heroes, and I don't know. It's interesting. It's a good read, but there's a lot of kind of little back matter and clues and things dropped, Easter eggs that a lot of new readers might not pick up on.
Is that Horseman or something?
He's a bull. Talking about this dude up here.
Guess that's the future.
Yep. So this, and Al mentioned this. This is the kind of the book in the middle where he came back and did.
Oh, I didn't mean that book, but yeah, I dig this. This is a fun book, but that's just like more like his love of Super Friends.
So it is. It's him coming back and saying, "This is my kind of a nostalgic take on the Super Friends."
Oh, okay.
They didn't call it Super Friends, but he focused on the biggest of the main DC heroes in this, and it is kind of a Justice League story. They battle all the main villains, the top tier, arch rivals and things like that. It's the first story I ever read where I actually cared about Aquaman at all. So he was able to do that.
So I like team up books, but I understand exactly what Al was saying, though. They don't necessarily give the individual characters time to grow and things like that. Is that what Justice does? Does it develop characters at all, or is it just?
No, it's like a team up. It's like a crossover where we got to, because what it is that the bad guys start curing people of, they're like helping people, and then like they're kind of like, hey, there's something fishy about this, and then of course there is. So
okay.
Spoiler.
I wouldn't say that it like evolves the character, but it definitely kind of tests the characters.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to read this if you're. That's the thing. It's a standalone. It's a
standalone stuff.
Yeah, it's all standalone. There's a lot of whatever.
Comic Head 84, thanks for joining us this morning, and Phil Ailing, thanks for being here. So the last book that I would suggest to a new reader, and I'm pretty sure Al's not read this, and I'm not sure what his opinion of it is going to be.
It's garbage.
Is Terry Morris, Strangers in Paradise. And specifically, I definitely suggest reading the first trade, which is only in print was 3 issues long. And then the second trade, I Dream of You. And my gut feeling is if you get through both of these, you're going to be hooked and you'll want to read the rest of the series. It's been published in many different formats. I bought the original trades as they came out. I didn't buy it monthly because I think I would have felt not shortchanged, but there just wasn't enough content issue to issue, similar to how I feel about Something's Killing the Children these days. There's just not enough in each issue to be satisfying. So reading it in trade was pretty good for me. They put them together in these kind of smaller novel sized editions with more pages. So I think there are 4 or 6 editions of that. Mm-hmm. And the original trades, like I've got, I think they're like 15 different trades or something like that.
Really? You have all of them?
Yeah. And then they also did them in various hardcover formats, and there's a big slipcase, the whole thing all in one box. And then Terry Moore's subsequent work after that ties in somewhat. After the fact, he made it all kind of tie together, but he wanted this to be its own thing. But as far as, in my opinion, reading the comic book art form, these are the realest characters that I've encountered, where when I was done reading the book, I'm like, oh, my friends moved away. I'm like, I was really going to miss it when it was done. So that's kind of what you're in for if you pick that up.
And the thing that appeals to me, that makes me want to read it, is Neil Gaiman says a delightful new comic. And I like him because he was on Big Bang Theory.
You like Big Bang Theory, don't you? It's nerd exploitation, folks.
Mm-hmm. Well, man. And it has a Bare Naked Ladies song. I like BNL.
So you're talking about all the reasons you like Big Bang Theory and the resulting likes because you like Big Bang Theory. Everything involved in that is good.
No.
Okay.
I mean, like, they never met one black nerd. I mean, other than Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Gorvidal says Strangers in Paradise is my favorite Texas writer. Okay, that's qualifier. Rob Boswell. Thanks for joining us here this morning, everyone. Welcome to Pop Culture Clobberin Time. Here's my friend Coach Vic. Got my other friend Al Shell here, and you can watch the rest of the rewind to pick up on.
Hey, wait a minute! Like I wasn't here last time, and this is the intro you give me.
Man, you've got a good memory.
I tell you what. Listen, I think when it comes to comic books, I might be a little slow. I might be a little simple.
Oh, the word I have is elitist.
No, I'm simple because I don't need to dust off some hoity-toity book. I don't carry Watchmen around. I don't carry Strangers in Paradise around and be like, oh, yes, me and John, we read this, and it was the best book. Okay.
What is that?
I'll bust out an Archie comic book and go, this is what got me. This is what excites me about comic books. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to be able to do that and not be afraid to be looked down upon. Hey, I might crap on books, okay? But that's just me. If you like Stranger in Paradise, good. If you like Strange Academy, whatever, fine, do it. If you like watching Big Bang Theory, there's no helping you. But all I'm saying is, it's like I'm kind of a simple cat. So I think when it comes to reading and incorporating new people into comic books, keep it simple. Let them do it. Just let them taste it. It's like, here, taste it. Oh, that's garbage.
But you see, here's the one thing though. Like we talk about, I like the TV shows, I like the movies. I would have never stepped a foot into the comic book store if I had met somebody who liked comic books. I said, no, Victor, there's a better way to consume this stuff. And
I'm just saying, I didn't say don't force yourself upon these people. Go ahead. Next person you see, force yourself upon them. And no,
like I feel like Jamie should be getting like 5% of my purchases from our LCS.
Instead, he's giving you all of the stuff. So.
Yeah, I buy stuff of my own too.
See, you're not hearing what I'm saying.
Let's see what Gorvidal's got to say. He says, "Is Stranger in SIS inspiration?" I don't know what SIS is. It was a typo. Strangers in Paradise, maybe. Or inspiration. We're reading all Ian Fleming's
Bond novels at age 11.
A young adult series about girls at a boarding school and an uncle who died from AIDS.
Oh, is that what this is about?
Well, I could see how that it would have, how those influences went into it. I definitely see that. He's asking, have you ETA Nick's video on his channel, Boxless? It's fascinating. I've not seen that one. I do watch that channel, but I've not seen that one. I'll take a look for it.
Hey, speaking of channels, and we're pumping other people's keep it simple, Shell. That's right. Keep it simple. Let people. If we're pimping other people's YouTubes, I'm sure it doesn't need pimping. But there's a show called I think it's The Craftsman without a T, and he makes little knickknacks and stuff, and he's a puppet. And I've been watching it, so relaxing. And he's got like a New Orleans type accent, you know. I'm the Craftsman, you know. Actually, it sounds like a cool, like a Snoop Dogg. Actually, if you think about it, but you never see him except for his hands. And he makes like he'll take a figure and he'll make a sculpture or whatever it is. It's real fun. It's real fun. You should check out the Craftsman. I'm sure he's over like Rover. People probably already know who he is, but you know, I'm new to the party, so that's how you find out. That's the way. Just like this is I just stumbled upon it. All right. Now that's what you do with comics. Just stumble upon stuff. You might have a weird uncle that gets you into it, but hey,
kind of like how I stumbled upon Blurred Without Fear, and I learned that blurred is the term for a black nerd.
Just like that. He's probably got thousands and thousands of followers, and
it's like 5, 7, 10. Yeah, It's crazy.
Yeah, fantastic, Frankie. You'll get led to it, so it doesn't. You know, I guess you're just saying you're the gatekeeper, right, Jamie? We're the gatekeepers of this, and we have to go. Here's your pamphlet. Here you go. Take this, and then that's got all the key points. And if you don't like
he's been taking notes during the show, though.
He's been drawing the whole time. No, that's why I have you here, so that you can tell me where I'm wrong. And
I mean, that's where we differ. You're not wrong. That's the thing. You're not wrong.
Okay, I want to hear your opinion and your viewpoint because I think it is as valid as my own.
Well, yeah. I said your opinion is valid. My opinion is valid. Vic's opinion, except for the Big Bang Theory thing.
And apparently Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And
all right, so we'll give the...
Listen, real quick. Okay. When I was younger, I liked Paul McCartney more than I liked John Lennon, okay? Then I got older, and I kind of I like them both, you know? A little bit more Lennon guy now. But that's the thing. As you grow, so does your taste. So
okay.
You might not like Big Bang Theory. You might learn one day not to like Big Bang Theory. And then you'll be fully grown. You will realize that they're making fun of us and not with us.
Keep It Comic says, but isn't part of the fun of reading comic books the joy of collecting is not just experiencing the books you enjoy, but also breaking down and discussing the book that wasn't so great?
I feel like it's where Alice joy comes from.
No, I try and keep my opinions positive and talk about what I like, and I'm not going to say I don't get caught up and do like whole videos of, man, the new comics are not for me. I mean, I did that video.
Yeah, you did.
I would rather sit here and talk positive about everything, all the comic books, but the thing is hard. It's hard to do. It's like Samuel Jackson from Pulp Fiction. He's trying to be the good man, okay? He's trying to be
that movie.
What?
I never saw Pulp Fiction.
But you watch Big Bang Theory. You don't watch Pulp Fiction. Get out of here.
Yeah, poster every week.
Yeah, you got a poster right over. You never watched that movie? Boy,
it's my poster, not his.
You never seen it either, huh, Jamie?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Anyways, what I'm saying is, I don't know, and I'm going crazy now because I've never seen Pulp Fiction.
All right, so let's give the chat a chance to, if you've got suggestions for what you think the best books for new readers are, throw them out there. While we're waiting for those to roll in, I'll show the few pickups I got, and I mean very few.
I got tons of toys.
Well, I want to see your toys too. I picked up this Ecstatics #4.
That's old. What are you doing? How you picked that up?
I did not buy this run when it was new, so I'm trying to put together a complete run of the X-Force and Ecstatics run by Peter Milligan and Mike Allred. It's a very kind of off the wall take on mutants. I read some of I borrowed some of the first trade from a friend and read it back when it was new, and it kind of always kind of stuck with me, but I never went back and actually bought it. So I'm getting it out of dollar bins.
That looks like that'd work for our Halloween episode too.
Halloween's coming. Good morning.
I wanted to do all Halloween. I wanted to do all scary stuff for the rest of the week, but no. Hey, the 30th. The 30th. They're doing a show on the 30th.
We'll talk after the show. I've got an idea.
No.
Okay, so here's a bit of a scary book, and this is a book I already owned. It's X-Men 160, which is the issue in which Ilyana Rasputin becomes magic. She goes from a 7-year-old to a teenager.
Oh, it's magic.
If you are into specking, this is a book I suggest buying because it's relatively cheap in the $20 to $30 range for high grade copies.
I got a question. Was she owned by someone else besides Marvel, or there was a writer or something? Because they killed her and she was gone for the longest time.
No, she was just out of the picture. She came and went for a while.
She was gone. She was dead for a while.
That's why we only have 50 X-Men.
Huh? I'm just saying,
50 X-Men.
I don't know. They just got rid of her for a long time. Wasn't until 2000 something they brought her back, man. That's all I'm saying.
So, talking about buying a book kind of in the middle of a run where it's just good stuff. This is both a key, but it is kind of in the middle of the run too. This is my most recent big pickup.
I seen that already. You showed that last time.
No,
I just got it this week.
No, you didn't. I've seen that one before.
That was the Dr. Doom one.
Man,
so this is
you're just showing your stuff over and over again.
Fantastic Four, King Size Annual #6, dual first appearance of Annihilus, and the first appearance of baby Franklin Richards. And the thing about this book, I've never read a reprint or anything. I've never seen it up until now. I've only heard about it. But this is
Fantastic Four.
How many pages are twice as many pages? So at least 48 pages
for 25 cents.
And it is wall-to-wall action with the Fantastic Three because Invisible Girl is indisposed. But it's just action, Kirby action from page to page to page. The whole book, there's not a backup story in it. So if you're into keys, this is a low grade, probably it was sold to me as a good, and it's got spine splits at the top and bottom, but it doesn't have a bunch of color breaks on it. So
does Sue marry Reed Richards?
Yeah, they got married in annual #3 or 4, I believe.
But she never goes by Sue Richards.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, she does?
Yeah. They're old-fashioned like that. So those are the few books I picked up since.
I have a pickup. Superman 500.
Will that fall off a building or something? So Gore's saying he can't recommend anything unless he knows something about the person. It's like, well, I hope you know something about the person that you're trying to. I mean, I hope you're not going up to strangers and just be like, "Hey, you want to check out this comic book, man?
Yo,
got
man,
something for you.
Got some Fantastic Four for you."
Hey, little boy. Hey, little boy, come here. I got a comic book for you.
Hey, you look like you might like Danger. Batman.
Hey, look at this book right here. See, this is where the Superman dies. Okay, you should read this.
I understand readers who just read Marvel, DC, or both, and nothing else in the. I don't know if that reader exists anymore. That I used to be that guy.
Because obviously they don't, because comics would be dying.
Comics are thriving.
Let's see who else we got here.
I'm in DC. DC die.
I recommend anything by Boom.
Boom does quality stuff. Boom Studios.
Exclamation point. Even though they just lost the editor, one of the editors.
Who they lose?
I can't remember. It was a lady. She wrote Giant Days.
Well, then it doesn't matter if you can't remember her name.
I don't know anybody's name.
Uh-oh.
He knows Boom Studios, though. They've done a good job of branding.
Yeah. And James Tinian, the fourth.
He writes for him.
And Alex Tove. No. Dave McKet, yeah, with two Z's in it. Mazzucchelli.
No.
Massive Chelly. I'll just show you my.
These are the names you know.
Poorly drawn picture.
Alex Ross. Jay Hood's my favorite artist.
I just do.
Al's a close second.
That's pretty cool.
Terry is definitely Al's a close third behind Terry.
No.
Don't patronize me, man. Patronize me.
Okay.
I don't need your
Terry's son.
Anyway.
All right, we're past the hour mark. Do we have anything else that we want to share with these fine folks?
I'll show you my I bought a Marvel Select figure. I don't know.
Me too.
Man.
Make 'em big.
Anyway, it's the Silver Centurion version. I think it was designed by Mark Bright. Look at the beauty. This figure, I would have loved this as a kid. I'm telling you. I always loved this armor. I know people probably don't. But I picked this up, and you can pop the heads off. If you can put them on, you can put them on. Maybe you can't. Oh, there it is. You can pop the head off right there. Like to do. And it came with the Tony Stark head. Okay. And I don't know if you can see that. Hold on a minute. Focus. But look at this guy.
Put your hand behind him. That worked last time. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. It looks like Hitler. It looks like Hitler. Looks like Adolf Hitler. Tony Stark is Adolf Hitler. Especially blurry. It really looks like him. My youngest man. Anyway. So, I don't know if I want to, but I was thinking about trimming the mustache, getting a little Hitler stash. And then, but then I don't want Hitler in my house. Anyways, what I like doing is taking my He-Man head and dropping
him on everything, don't you?
Hold on. And it fits, and it's beautiful. Look at this baby. By the power of Iron Man. Look at that.
I thought it was by the power of Grayskull.
Well, now it's Iron Man.
Got a new pimp outfit. Yeah, Stark. There you go. And this other design I did, I like the origin figures, and I made it, and I put it together. Look at this. Rockstar He-Man. Look at him. Got a cool vest. It's the Hollywood. He's a Hollywood blonde. He's Stunning Steve. I got it off of a Steve Austin figure. But check these gloves out, man. Look at those. I got that off of Vader. Big man Vader. He's a wrestler. Vader, brother. What time is it? Ooh. But I love it. It looks like something from a Bad Dudes video, The Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love it. Got the little black pants on with black boots. He looks a rock star, don't he?
Yep.
Rock star. But you got to take his head off. And then you can take this head off because it's classic He-Man head.
But since you mentioned Vader, you know, there's a new show coming on Netflix starring The Undertaker and The New Day.
I'm not watching it. Look at that. That is cooler.
That is cool.
Classic head He-Man, rock star He-Man. Look at this dude. Awesome. Oh, I got one more thing. I've been slowly doing it. But, okay, so I found a Rocky Johnson. Okay, Rocky Johnson is the Rock's dad. Rock's dad, okay?
Yeah.
He's actually his skin's actually lighter than this.
Just a touch.
Okay. But it's perfect. His face, I seen it. I seen his head, and I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, for a while, a couple years back, I worked on a book, Hammer the Gods, Winter of Woe. With the character, he's kind of like a He-Man character. His own He-Man. His name's Punch Out. So I've been slowly putting this character together. I got to do some paint things. But I got the Rocky Johnson head fit perfectly on the Origins body. Check this beast out. It's awesome. It's getting awesome.
Nice.
The afro ain't out of control. He doesn't really have that stupid look on his face, so he looks like, yeah, man, I'm gonna mess you up.
So man, Rocky Johnson.
And it's a what's his name? The body is like, oh man, what's his name? It's an old He-Man guy. It's like one of the only black characters.
One of.
I think he's one of the, I think there's only one black He-Man guy, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I said only, and I didn't say one of. I'm trying to remember his name. It's like he had a Clamp Champ. That was his name. I have his pop somewhere around there. But yeah, like that is perfect. I found that head and I was in love, man. I was like, there you go.
Right.
Perfect. So you guys if you don't know who Punch Out is, feel free to look up Hammer the God, Winter of Woe. I did a whole 80-something page book. Oh my goodness, maybe 60 pages. I just like to say 80 pages.
Wow.
It felt like 100, but it's fun. It's like in the old style, cartoon style, filmation style.
What's the Hulk Hogan back there?
Hulk Hogan, Baby Hogan. Baby Hogan had Baby Hogan. If you've been to my Facebook or my Instagram, you see me holding him like a little baby.
Very cool. That's a good skull.
Yeah.
I know. Like any face I've seen today on like this is from the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
They knew how to do it. Now you get him and he don't look like Hogan anymore. They've done laser, scans of people. Right. Don't look like Hogan. This one looked like it was someone doing this. Someone knew how to sculpt.
Right.
Anyway, now when they sculpt stuff, they end up looking like freaking Nazis. It was Nazi hair Stark, as they call them. It was great. But no, I've been getting a lot of. I know. Oh, here. Final thing, I guess. You know what this is?
A box.
I went crazy. I got some those pops, man, those sodas. Check that out. Klondike Cat. Do you know what Klondike Cat is?
No, not really.
Savoir Faire. Savoir Faire is everywhere. Yeah. See what else I got? Tongue Lasher, another He-Man character. Oh, Zan from the Wonder Twin. They only have one Wonder Twin.
What?
The other one's coming out next week. See, I've been buying these. I've been collecting these. Let's see. This is Beastman. One little known fact, I usually get all the Beastman stuff I can find because he was the first him and Fakor were the first two figures I got when I was a kid. So Beastman's my boy. And then Ash. I'll probably give this to my brother because I don't really like. I don't really. Not that I don't like Ash. It's just like I don't like collecting figures off of like kind of like real people type thing, and they don't look as cool as like say a Beastman. You know, I mean, look at this boring picture of this dude. It's just boring. Like, yeah, look. You know.
So are all those in like the same series or different series? I mean, how did you end up with the one you didn't like?
I bought it from my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so I bought this a long time ago. It's the Energizer Bunny. Mm-hmm. They run the gamut, man. I'm talking. And here is the Zan, and he's got his glove off. So you're gonna get a sister, and they're gonna like probably fist bump. Mm-hmm. The original fist bump, bro.
And what? You're right. So we appropriated that from white people.
That's a shirt. OG fist bump. Yep. That's my shirt. I'm gonna make that shirt and get it taken down after. No, be sure to. Yeah, collect what else. I'm not gonna be. There's so many of those soda pops that like. Okay, I'm not gonna buy that. There's like the Lucha Marvel Lucha guys, which has permeated everything, and they suck. Okay. Like there's no like I could design a better mask than what they've done. It's unbelievable. I mean, I've seen the guys actual on the show, and you know they're pretty good, whatever. But it didn't work. It didn't work. That experiment needs to be like a Frankenstein monster needs to be put under. You know what I mean? But yeah, I dig that. I'm probably gonna go. I'm not lying. I'm probably gonna after this. I'm gonna go hit up my comic book shop.
Me too.
I'm gonna go there, maybe look for something. I know I got a lot of bills to pay, but I'm addicted, man. I'm gonna do a 5-finger thing. Oh, I can't. That's too. Oh. Anyway,
all right. Well, we'll close this one out.
Yeah, let me talk for 2 minutes, and then it's late.
You've been here the whole time,
dude. You've been showing comics again. Like, look, this could be a book that you can buy, and you don't have to, but maybe if you like comics.
If you want, I could talk about the Green Lantern movie.
Let's do.
I don't know why that movie's so underrated.
I think the next show should be dedicated to the pros and cons. He defends, and then you can like we'll do a court case. The hearing of the Green Lantern movie.
All right, we're on. I'll be the judge.
You be the judge.
Moderator.
My whole thing will just be, it sucked. It was garbage. You're in the middle of this hot streak. Green Lantern was on such a hot streak comic book wise. The brightest or the darkest, blackest night was going. Anyways, I'll save it. For next week. Or next yeah, so you heard it here, folks. We're gonna go crazy, and we're gonna it's the trial of the Green Lantern movie.
So I'm
the prosecutor, and he's the defense.
All right. It's on like Donkey Kong. All right.
I'm going to come for you, brother. Yeah. Let's go. All right.
Any last words, Coach Vic?
No, sir.
Any last words, Al?
Hey, little boy. Coming for you. All right. Sorry. I had to do that.
Be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe, share, tell your friends about us, send them our way. Thanks for doing that. John's Comics with Kids on Instagram. Gorvidal, good to see you. Mars Comics, Keep It Comics, Second Street Marvel. Thanks for joining us, guys. And we'll always remind you, keep your priorities straight, faith, family, comic books. We'll see you next time, guys.